podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Paddock and the Pavilion with Stephen Wallace. In each show, Stephen will interview someone connected to the world of horse racing or cricket.
Hello everyone. Have you ever wondered what it's like to be an auctioneer at Tattersalls in Newmarket? In this episode, I aim to find out by speaking to young sales organiser and auctioneer Freddie McKibbin. How are you today, Freddie?
Very well, thank you, Stephen. And looking forward to the podcast ahead.
Is it a quiet time for you at the moment? You haven't got a sale until April.
Yeah, I mean, we've just had our February sale. So that's been and gone. So we started the year, as we always do, with that February sale. And at the moment, we finished inspections for the breeze up sales, which lies ahead in April. We get about 1,200 nominations for the breeze up sales, which basically are 2-year-old horses that will be galloped up the Rolly Mile. And we have to sort these horses out, ones that are eligible for the Craven breeze up sale, where the average is usually around the 115,000 guineas marker, to the Guineas breeze up, where the average is a bit lower. So yeah, it's busy at the moment, sorting that sale. And Tats is such a diverse company nowadays. We have online sales, we have a Cheltenham sale. So yeah, lots and lots going on currently.
Well, thanks for that. I'd like to begin by finding out about your career path in racing. Was it a love of racing? Did you like horses, or did you just want to be on the stage?
Well, it's an interesting one. So where I'm at now, auctioneering was never the dream when I was a kid. My dad is in equine insurance, and my grandfather, so my mum's father, was a racing journalist. So that's where the passion stemmed from. My dad would be watching the racing on a Saturday. And me being a kid, I didn't want to watch the racing. I wanted to watch the football or the rugby. But one day, sat down with him, me and my brother, and got into it and started following the racing most Saturdays. And then that stemmed with speaking about racing with my grandfather, who was still writing. Basically, he wrote for the Sporting Life, helped set up the Racing Post with Bruff Scott, and then went on to write a monthly piece in the Owner Breeder, and doesn't do that anymore, is retired. So there are all different angles as to why I was originally interested in racing, and through school continued to follow it very closely. And I guess it was always my dream to become a trainer. And I know most people, when they get into racing, go, oh, you know what, I'd love to train horses. So I started by going down that route, and that led me to working a few summers at Willie Jarvis's, because I was good friends with Jane George's children, who I went to school with, and Jane George is Willie Jarvis's sister. So started there, and that led on to basically a year at Simon Crisford's when I left school. So my grandfather knew Simon Crisford, so I asked if I could get a bit of work experience, bearing in mind I hadn't had any contact with horses previously. I mean, I think back when we were a lot younger, me and my brother had a few riding lessons, which didn't end too well. But working on the ground there, from mucking out about 6 to 12 horses a day, and just general care of the racehorse, building up right to more of a pupil assistant role, where I ended up traveling with a few of the horses racing and leading up. So it was great. That was my initial sort of exposure to the industry. Still in my head, training was basically on the cards, but I was thinking, where's the financial backing coming from? There's no yard to there's no yard to fall on. There's little financial backing. So the dream was there, but seemed so far away. And then the task of actually training horses and getting owners, it all was a bit daunting. So Simon Crisford led me on to the Irish National Stud course. He said I should apply for it and get a different perspective of the industry, from a breeding front, from a stud front. So I went and did that course, and then after that went to Australia, worked for Arrowfield Stud, then signed up actually at the Magic Millions. I worked for an insurance company, which basically when a horse was sold at the Magic Millions sales, we'd go to that purchaser and they basically sign the purchaser confirmation slip and tick whether they'd wanted Fall of Hammer insurance. So that was my exposure to an auction house, my first proper dealing in the bloodstock industry there, and came back, applied for the Tattersalls internship, just wondering what to do, what step I was to take next, and then basically snowballed into a full-time job. So a lot of experience there to guide me into Tattersalls, and it was never really an intention to start auctioneering.
Well, that was a very long answer, but I kept quiet there because everything came out there, Freddie. But
I know, just reflecting.
Yeah, very steeped in racing then with your family.
Yes, more so. Not on the hands-on front, but from journalism point of view, and then insurance. So I was always, I'd say, interested because of my surroundings.
Now, just turning to Tattersalls, then, founded in 1766, the leading bloodstock auctioneers in Europe. Can you give listeners a sort of brief run through the various sales you have during a typical year?
Yes. There are an array of sales at Tattersalls that cater toward the thoroughbred. Like I say, we started with our February sale this year. It's a mixed sale. It's for breeding stock, horses in training, yearlings. And that goes right through with the breeze ups coming up for 2-year-old horses that haven't raced yet, but they breeze up the Rowley Mile straight, and then purchasers go on to choose which horses they think breezed well, did a good time, bred very well. So that's two aspects of sales during the Tattersalls year. We also have the Guineas horse and training sale that comes alongside of that. The July sale, which is a premier sale in July during the July festival, and the August sale, another horses in training sale. So for horses that are racing during the summer that trainers want to just pass on. And then we lead into our main fixture, which are the yearling sales in October. We'll start off with the Somerville yearling sale in September, but the October yearling sales are huge sales for year-old horses, and we grade these horses into books 1, 2, 3, and 4. Book 1 being the classy sale, the sale full of quality. Book 2, more of a trainer's horse, where the average dips slightly, but still a very good sale. And book 3 and 4 for the middle to lower end of the market. So these sales are put on, and trainers and owners go and buy these yearlings and hoping to have good quality runners next year when they turn 2 and 3. So that's a broad basis of the sales, and ending with December, the December yearlings, foals and mares. And we recently had the December mare sale where alcohol free was sold for 5.4 million, and the Platinum Queen as well was there, 1.2 million. So there's an array of sales that cater to each department of the industry, the higher part, the lower part, the middle tier. So Have you got your own highlight? I know, didn't you start yourself in an August sale? I did. So I've been auctioneering for just over a year now, and started in the August sale back in 2021, which was, I still remember the first lot I sold, one of Alex Haynes' lots. So it just feels like yesterday. But a personal highlight would have been the autumn horses in training sale, where I sold I'm a Gambler for Mark and Charlie Johnson and realised 850,000 guineas, which was it was some adrenaline rush. It wasn't expected. I thought it may be one of the higher price lots I would have sold, but when it kicked over 400,000, I was a bit like, okay, when's this going to stop? And I had Red Baron bidding, and I had Naj Stud come in late. So the price the price is a good one, and I think Charlie Johnson was stoked, to say the least. But yeah, it was a good kick, great kick, and gave me a real buzz.
You mentioned that horses are sold in guineas. Do you think that's something that's been going on since the beginning, really? Do you think that'll ever change? It'll always be guineas? I
think that's what makes Tattersalls such a unique sales company. So basically the guinea, if people don't know, is £1.05. And so Tattersalls charges a 5% commission on lots sold. So say you sell a horse for 100,000 guineas, we would take the £5,000 from that guinea, because it would be £105,000. So yeah, it's unique. Basically the seller gets the hammer price. 100,000 guineas will mean that the seller gets the £100,000 and we take the 5,000 as commission. So it's a very unique way of selling, and I think it is something that I can't see changing at Tattersalls, because it's part of our character.
I'd like to move on to what you do before a sale, on sale day, and after a sale day, and set the scene. To set the scene, your preparation for a sale, you talked before about grading the horses. Do you know the breeding lines well yourself, the new sires, the sires that are doing well? Is that all part of your role?
Yes, it is. It's becoming more and more a part of my role as I'm not long at Tattersalls. Well, I'm around three and a half years. There's a process where I've been going out with the likes of Ollie Folston, Harvey Bell, Matt Pryor to inspect horses. So, for example, the yearling sales will go out, and we will go to these farms inspecting horses with the pedigrees in front of us. So knowing which sires people are wanting, which sires are good sales horses, and basically learning confirmation from them. So right now I'm at the point where I've been able to go out on inspections and give my own opinion, having done time with those guys. So yeah, pre-sale would be inspecting these horses, grading them, and then sorting them into sales. Now, horses in training sales are open sales, so they're non-select sales, so anybody can enter a horse into them. But yearlings and breeze-up horses, we have a grading system. So prep for that will be getting the pedigrees off, grading pedigrees before you go out and grade the actual horse as a physical, and then getting back, sorting them into sales, and monitoring the pedigree page. So for any updates that happen on the pedigree page, they need to be added so that the catalogue's as up to date as it can be. And then the catalogue will go to print with the said catalogue, and that will be distributed, and we'll run updates up until the sale, because, as you know, pedigrees are very active, and horses, half brothers and sisters, can be running right up until the sale of the lot in question. So it's very busy from closing the catalogue to getting it to print to then the build up to the sale. And come sale day, auctioneers will get a list of the lots they're selling. So you usually have 2 to 3 runs a day, consisting of around 15 horses per run. And you'll research the pedigree, make some notes on what you think are the selling points. Then once you've done that, you'll go and inspect the lot you're selling and write up any positives you've got to say about their conformation, their physical nature. And then finally, you'll speak to the person selling that lot, the consignor/vendor, and get a feel for how busy the lot's been, what they're expecting for the lot, what reserve they're going to put on the lot, what they want the horse to make. And by then you should have all the ingredients to try and sell this horse when you get up on the rostrum. So yeah, you'll be up there behind the first auctioneer waiting for your turn to sell. And from then you get on, and it's basically what you put into practice.
So you really know the horse. You really know the horses that you're about to sell when you stand there at the rostrum. Yeah,
exactly. You've got to be prepared, and every horse, whether it is a a 1,000,000 guinea horse right down to 1,000 guinea horse. You've prepared exactly the same, because you're not giving the 1,000,000 guinea horse any more of a chance of selling than you are the 1,000 guinea horse. It's the same situation, the same scenario. You're trying to sell that horse to the best of your capabilities.
And what's the thrill like when you're up there with your gavel there, especially if there's a large audience?
Yeah, it is. It's hard to put into words, really. As you know, I never set out to be an auctioneer and never thought that I'd be doing this. So yeah, it's just a great buzz. You get a lot of adrenaline, and as soon as you come off, it kind of flashes before your eyes, and you just can't wait to get up and have your next stint. So yeah, it's hard to describe. I guess it's a bit like performing in a theatre. But you never did
drama at school and things like that then yourself?
Well, this is the ironic thing. At school we had a play, Alice in Wonderland, and if I remember rightly, I wasn't a major role at all. I was one of the dancing lobsters in the background. So that was my drama prowess. Not too promising at school. So never did I think I'd be up selling.
And you must have to keep your eyes open for the bidders, although I guess you know the area where they are.
Yes, yeah. So before a sale, I generally speaking would go up and practice in the ring and get to know the locations of where most bidders stand. And then you've just got to rely on your patter being there and your rhythm that you've practiced. And there are lots of things going on at once. You're trying to remember the number you're on, remember the bidder you took it from, looking for the next bidder, trying to remember what the horse, we've got notes in front of us, but remember what the horse has done, the pedigree, the sire, the dam. So there's lots of things to remember, and you're standing up there. 15 horses, generally speaking, takes around sort of 30 minutes. So you're there talking non-stop for 30 minutes with all this information going through your head. So yeah, it's lots to remember and lots to stay focused on. So you've got to be pretty sharp whilst you're up there. But that's the fun of it.
Yeah, it must be hectic. You must be quite exhausted and almost need a rest when you've had that sort of time period. Yeah,
no, definitely. As I'm a junior auctioneer, I get sort of two runs, 3 sometimes. But some of the more senior auctioneers who have 3 to 4 runs a day, and some sales span 4 days, you are running on fumes by the last day, because it's so intense. And when we're selling in October for the yearling sales, we're also working on the December mare sale catalogue. So you've got to go up, sell horses, and then go back down to the office, make sure the catalogue's looking good for the December mare sale. So there's lots going on. A sale day is a very busy day.
And you mentioned alcohol-free, she sold for 5.4 million in December. Were you in the ring? I know you weren't the auctioneer, but were you in the ring at that time? Because the tension must have been, so electric.
Yeah, no, she was the speaking horse of the December mare sale. So the anticipation for her to get close to Marsha's record was definitely there. I was upstairs, right above the auctioneer. I know I was speaking to Ollie Folston before it about the sale, and I just couldn't imagine what it was like to be in his shoes, knowing that this horse was very valuable and potentially going to top the sale, and having to get the business done. So it was amazing. It was brilliant to be in the ring and witness an atmosphere like it. The only other atmosphere that you can relate to it was Marsha back in 2017, I want to say. Yeah, back in 2017.
It must be so quiet, with the auctioneers really the only one then actually saying anything apart from the gasp from the crowd. Yes.
Yeah, you could literally hear a pin drop. Everybody zoned in to the auctioneer and the horse selling. And that evening it was alcohol free, and it was great that it was the first edition of the sector sessions, which we'd introduced to the mare sale, which was basically 2 sessions on the Monday and Tuesday for the highest quality fillies in and out of training and mares. So yeah, it was great to have alcohol free there to top it.
You mentioned that Tattersalls have other sales, that they have them at Ascot and at Cheltenham. Do you ever get to watch them? And as an auctioneer, do you learn from other auctioneers how they operate?
Yes, so Ascot has been a place where I started off auctioneering. So after I got my first run out in Newmarket, I went to Ascot for a few sales, and that's where you get to really practice and hone in on your skills and listen to other auctioneers, because Park Paddocks, the sales ring at Tattersalls is huge, and you go somewhere like Ascot where it's a lot smaller, a lot more personal. You've got a larger, I wouldn't say quantity of people. You've got a smaller quantity of people, but the focus really is on the auctioneer there. Whereas I feel like in Newmarket, you've got such a big sales ring and lots happening that it can all happen a bit quickly. So yeah, you get to listen to lots of auctioneers at Ascot, at Cheltenham, at Newmarket, and you do pick up on sayings that other auctioneers make, and you think, oh, that might work quite well when I'm next selling, and you make notes, and yeah, you're learning all the time. And I'm far from the finished article, and I've got a lot more to work on and learn and progress on. But it's great hearing a different variety of auctioneers where you can try and hone in on some of your skills.
And what's your role after sale day? It looks like you're working on the next one and the next one.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically moving on to the next sale. I'm also sort of involved with stabling sales as well. So horses that are entered, we've got around 850 usable stables on our Park Paddocks grounds where the horses are stable for sale. So it's slotting horses into those stables and making sure consigners are together. So that's a big part of my job as well, especially when you have horses, catalogues of 1,600 horses with only 850 usable stables. We have to double stand a few. So it's logistics on that front that can prove quite challenging sometimes, but when it all fits, it is quite rewarding.
Yeah, it really is like being a hotel for horses, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. We're housing these horses, and yeah, we have to make it work for them. Otherwise, you get complaints.
And working in Newmarket, do you get to go to the races yourself?
Yes, yeah. So I would go racing at Newmarket as often as I can. Love going to the Guineas Festival. We'll pop up for the Craven meeting, and we have our Craven Breeze Up sale 2 evenings after the Craven meeting. So that's always good. And yeah, I'm an avid race goer. I follow National Hunt just as much as I follow flat. So I'd be trying to attend Cheltenham. We have a Cheltenham festival sale on the Thursday after racing there. So yeah, I'll get to Cheltenham, and yeah, just a big racing advocate that when I'm not playing rugby or playing any sport, I'll definitely head up to the races.
When you look at the race card, do you look at it and think, oh, I sold that horse, or I know the breeding well of that horse?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's always quite exciting following a horse that you've sold for quite a bit of money that you like during the sale. And an example of that would be Crypto Force, the Beresford Stakes winner. He's a Guineas Breeze Up graduate that I was fortunate enough to sell for 160,000 guineas. So it was great following him last year in his 2-year-old campaign, and I think he's now with John Gosden in Newmarket. And it'll be great to follow him this season, see where he ends up. And it's always a good buzz when they win, and you follow them and you have that different angle.
You said you play rugby. Who do you play for, and what's your position?
Currently play for Newmarket Rugby Club, which is great fun. I play number 10 there, and I've stepped in as captain this season as our club captain's been injured. So it's great to have taken up the baton from him, and we're currently sitting 4th in our league. It's the Eastern Counties 2 league, and we would have been in with a chance of promotion, but a few things haven't gone our way this season. But we've come off the back of a win at the weekend, and I think that's our fourth win in a row after Christmas. So two league games left, and I think hopefully next year we'll be in chance with a shot at promotion into the league above. But we're always Newmarket is such a great club to be a part of, and it is a release. There's a big Tattersalls presence at the club. Harvey Bell plays there, as well as Ed Rudge. So two of my Tattersalls colleagues, and Johnny Brown, another colleague, has his sons playing there. So there's a real local community sense with Newmarket. We're always looking to try and grab a few more players, but it's good. It's a good release, and I played quite a bit of rugby at school level, and played for Northampton Saints Academy when I was younger till under 18. Unfortunately, didn't get a contract with them, but this is a great way to carry on my rugby whilst continuing a path in racing.
Well, as long as we don't see an auctioneer with a black eye there during the October sales.
Last February was quite interesting. I got knocked out and concussed just before the February sale, so I had to take it easy during that February sale. I was a null and void pretty much, so that's always the danger. But no, luckily it's not to a level where we're playing big fellas.
And the future, where do you see yourself going at Tattersalls?
Well, hopefully getting out on more inspections and having more of a say with horses we have in the yearling sales and the breeze up sales. So that's going to be a goal to definitely go out on inspections, and the ultimate goal will be to sell at the premier sales. So book one, and the sector sessions of the December mare sale. That's the future. Looking at the future, that's hopefully what it holds. So lots to look forward to, and just improving my knowledge really. But I'm enjoying where I am at the minute, and taking everything in my stride.
Well, your passion for your job really comes through. Thank you very much for joining us on the Paddock and the Pavilion. Best of luck for the next sale, the Craven Breeze Up sales, and for the rest of the sales at Park Paddocks during 2023.
Thank you, Stephen. It's been a pleasure, and look forward to maybe chatting with you again in the future.
Thank you for listening to the Paddock and the Pavilion.
Follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at the Pad and Pad. Don't forget, if you like the show, please do leave us a rating and review.
Sports Social Podcast Network.